You are listening to Words with a Mad Coach. I am Mad Coach. I am Mad Coach. I am Mad Coach. Coach Sess. Coach Sess. I am Mad Coach. I am Mad Coach. I am Mad Coach. Coach Sess. Coach Sess. I am Mad Coach. I am Mad Coach. I am Mad Coach. Coach Sess. Coach Sess. I am Mad Coach. I am Mad Coach. I am Mad Coach. Coach Sess. Coach Sess. You are listening to Words with a Mad Coach.
Mad World. Good morning. It is a nice, cool, at least I'm in the shade, so that's what's making it cool right now. But it's a beautiful day outside. I'm in the shade, doing a little yard work, trimming back the bushes and the hedges, raking up a few leaves. I always have this issue with my city waste people in that they have a schedule that tells you when to put things out, and then they don't stick to it. They tell you that if you live on one side of the street, they come on Monday. If you live on the other side of the street, they come on a Wednesday. I try to have stuff out on the Monday, they don't show up. And then the Wednesday passes, and they may pick up the other side, or they may pick up a different type of debris. They tell you what the criteria is, you know. They tell you leaves, sticks, branches, old furniture, whatever the criteria is, and they tell you what days this should happen on. And my biggest thing are sticks and leaves. That's usually the thing that I usually have out, and they never really get it on the days that I put it out. But I guess enough with that. Let's talk some martial arts. Let's talk some fighting. I saw an interesting Facebook post that I kind of want to address, and it was a fighter by the name of Draco Rodriguez, who apparently has a contract with King of the Cage. So basically what happened is, allegedly Draco said that he got an offer from the UFC, but the King of the Cage would not release him from his contract. And he had a 5-fight deal under the terms of the contract, and they wouldn't release him to go fight in the UFC. Okay, so let's talk reality here. Number one, you don't get what you deserve, because that's what the emotional content of this post became. Everyone's talking about you deserve this, it's your dream, blah, 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 blah. You know, you get what you negotiate. All right, you get what you negotiate. So all you guys out there talking about living your dream, following your path, if you don't have a plan, it just remains a dream. If you can't measure from where you are, where you started, to where you are and where you're going, your dream's going to become your nightmare. It's all about the work. You got to work your plan. Plan your work your plan. So you can dream all you want. And along the way, it is okay to sign contracts. It's absolutely okay. You just need to know how to negotiate. So you always sign a contract with a little bit of a way out. I mean, the people who lock you into contracts, they always give themselves a little wiggle room. They'll say things like, hey, we want to sign you to a contract to do these services, but in case things don't go well, you have to fix the problem for no cost, or half the cost. Or if things go superbly well, let's say like in professional sports, you know, at least they always leave a little wiggle room that we get to come to negotiation tables first before you talk to anybody else after your contract has expired. We want to be able to offer you, 5% more, 10% more, or we want to be able to match the offer of any competing negotiation. So there's always some wiggle room, and you just have to have it written into the contract. If you go into a situation, a business deal, a business agreement, a legal business agreement, and you don't know the terminology, basically you don't know the law, then you are subject to whatever the terms of that contract are, or what is written and stated. Unless there's some level of trickery, you are pretty much bound by that. So when I saw this post about the King of the Cage not letting this guy out of the contract to go fight in the UFC, they don't have to. And I don't mean like they don't have to let you go fight in the UFC. They don't have to let you out of the contract to go fight in the UFC. You can stay in contract, under contract with the King of the Cage and go fight for the UFC. You just have to talk to your management team and restructure a deal. That's it. All contracts can be amended. The contract's only as good as the parties involved. I feel like I've met some fighters who really take advantage of their management teams, and I've met management teams that take advantage of their fighters. It's only as good as the people involved. If you allow yourself to be taken advantage of, you will be taken advantage of. You got to be aware of all elements going into the situation before you sign the deal. I don't see any fault, with King of the Cage, other than people just being emotional, saying, "Oh, these people suck." You didn't have any thoughts or any judgments about King of the Cage before you heard that this guy wasn't going to live his dream. And you know what? Here's the thing. All these guys that went to Bellator and they were telling you, hey, the reason we jumped out of our contracts is because UFC was making you do this and the UFC was making you do that. Guess what? You forgot about that. It's not all gravy going to the UFC. You need to come to the table with a certain level of, this is what I want because this is what I feel I'm worth. This is the value that I'm going to bring. You come to the table with that, and they're probably going to counter offer, and you're going to meet somewhere in the middle. So you should already go with the expectation of meeting in the middle somewhere, and not with the fear of being told no. Because if you really can do the things that you say you're doing or can do, they will work with you. Because especially if you see that it's something that they don't have and that you do specifically, like you really know how to bring the heat in a certain category, the skill they seem to lack, trust me, they're going to negotiate with you. They're going to work it out with you, especially if it makes them money, if it makes sense. So the idea of just signing contracts because you might not ever get another chance, is garbage. That's BS. And you should take a lesson from those fighters who went to Bellator or to other organizations for whatever reason. You should follow that structure and understand, why they didn't want to re-sign with the UFC. Know how to negotiate. Know what your worth is. Know how to negotiate. And then always write clauses that allow you to come back and revisit the contract. I'm not sitting here talking about contracts. I'm mostly talking about the post, the emotion behind it. King of the Cage didn't do anything illegal. They didn't have to let him go. The contract is already signed. They didn't have to let him go. Unless there's some trickery up front, when he signed this thing that I don't know about, that most of these people on the post don't know about, then for the most part, King of the Cage didn't do anything wrong. And it's pretty sad that you create a post to sabotage the reputation of a company that, for the most part, hasn't done anything recently to draw any negative responses from the public. Let's not take the romantic view of things. We got to stick with, the data. We got to stick with the facts. We got to stick with what's logical when it comes to business, because you're always going to make mistakes in business. And the one thing that will cause you to make more mistakes is definitely feeding or deriving your decisions from pure emotion. Because I think that, especially combat sports, I just think that it works better when you just fulfill your obligations and then move on. It's a lesson learned. And then the next time you negotiate with someone, you really start to become aware of what your true worth is, what your true value is. You negotiate for that value. I'm Coach Sess, and you've had words with the Mad Coach.